So guys, regarding wired media you have already studied, right? So wireless media. Okay, so we will use, say suppose if you have the switch here, and the switch can be connected to the computer using the wired media. Now to connect the wireless media, suppose you need to have one device, right? So one device which transmits the wireless signals. So one such device that transmits the wireless signal is the access point. Okay, so they'll be transmitting the wireless signals of the frequency range, say 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Okay, we use these two ranges for transmission. Okay, so 5 gigahertz is better one, and say previously, say the devices used to support 2.4 gigahertz only. Now the devices used to support both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Okay, now so again what you will do is that when they transmit this signal, so these are the electromagnetic waves that they transmit, and you will get connected to this electromagnetic waves, okay, or the signal. Then through this media you will send your data. Okay, so this is how you will get it connected. Now so suppose your switch or your home router will be having, I might have told you, your home router might be having, say, the router module, the switch module, along with that they have the access point module as well. So in the production environment you got a different device itself called access point. Now talking about access point, so here say you got different types of access point also. Okay, autonomous access point, in which you can control this access point from this device itself. Okay, so and some other access point called lightweight access point. Okay, so this controlling portion has been taken away from this access point, and the controlling portion has been given to another device called WLC. Okay, so this WLC is called wireless LAN controller. Wireless LAN controller. Okay, so with the help of this WLC we will be configuring this AP. Clear? And another set of APs are also there. Say suppose cloud-based AP. In cloud-based AP, say this access point only has this, say this, what do you say, the transmitting part, and the controlling part will be in the cloud. Okay, will be in the different location. Okay, so these are the different types of access point. Now the standard wireless standard is 802.11 standard. Okay, you got different multiple standards, 802.11, then A, 802.11, then B, then AC, like that. You got different G, then you got different standards. Okay, all those standards are, say, amended from this 802.11 standard which was previously there. Okay, now so you can read it, say the theory portions are there in the textbook, you can read it. Okay, now let me directly go to the configuration portion. Okay, so in this configuration what we are going to do is we will take a router here. Okay, we will take a router, and then suppose either say, and you will take a switch and you will take a wired connection. I mean, yes, some laptops. Okay, so this is the wired network. And what we are going to do is that we are going to create the wireless LAN and get it connected to the wired network. Okay, so here we'll connect it like this, and suppose you have a DHCP server also. Either you, if you want, you can configure the DHCP service in the router, you know how to configure, right? Or you can create a DHCP server here. Suppose I'm taking a DHCP server. Okay, here I'm taking a DHCP server, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna install the DHCP service, or I'm just gonna turn on the DHCP service, so that all the computers here will get the IP address from the DHCP. Okay, so now to do that in the packet tracer, suppose you have this tab in the DHCP, and suppose the range here is, suppose this network is say 10.0.0.0/24 range. Okay, then we'll give this range here, so we'll turn the service on, and suppose the default port, or we are just going to give the name to pool. Okay, yes, so pool 10.0.0.0, okay, /24. Then suppose the default gateway, it is 10.0.0.1. okay, these are the values that should be given to the computer. Okay, now again, next thing here, the DNS server. The DNS server, if you want, you can give it, suppose again it is the router's IP itself. Consider the DNS server itself is the router itself is the DNS server. Okay, now here the start IP, let it be 10.0.0.2. okay, let it start from 10.0.0.2. okay, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. okay, and the maximum number of users you can configure it as 512 or whatever be the, or 254 or 253, whatever. Okay, whatever is the IP range you can give that, and the total number also you can give. Now TFTP server address and all, it's not required for now. Okay, now so you will save it. Okay, now suppose if at all this computer is requesting the IP address, then it ought to get the IP address. Okay, so unfortunately it is down. Just give me a moment. Start IP, what happened? Okay, let me check it again, guys. Okay, so for now let me just configure the DNS in, the DHCP in the router itself. Okay, so we can't waste the time here, so let me configure the DHCP in the router itself. So IP DHCP pool, say pool 10, then network 10.0.0.0, 255.255.255.0. so online guys, if at all you are not able to hear me properly, let me know. Okay, so the default gateway, suppose it is 10.0.0.1, and DNS server, it is also 10.0.0.1, and say IP DHCP excluded address, okay, 10.0.0.1. okay, and let me give the IP address also, interface gig 0/0/0 IP is 10.0.0.1. okay, now the computer needs to receive an IP address, so just let me delete this one. The server is unnecessary for now. So yes, now you can see it has received an IP address from the DHCP server, that means the router. Fine. Okay, so now again this computer also receives an IP. Let us just make sure that it also receives the IP here. Yes, the DHCP is successful. So the computers here in this LAN are working fine. Okay, so if at all you have an internet connection, say suppose from the router you can have an internet connection, and the computers will be getting the internet connection and will be working fine. Now to set up the wireless, I told you we need a device to transmit the wireless signal. So we have an AP here. So let me connect the AP. So the wireless devices, what I'm going to take is lightweight access point. Okay, so I'm going to take the lightweight access point here, and what I'm going to do is I'll get it connected to the switch. Okay, AC to the the switch to the access point I've connected it. Now in the packet tracer you need to connect the power also to the access point you need to connect the power, then only it will get turned on. Okay, so now we have connected an access point. So this access point will start transmitting the wireless signal, but we have to configure it. To start transmitting the wireless signal, we have to configure. Okay, and to configure the lightweight access point, what do we need? We need a separate device that is called WLC, WLAN controller, or wireless LAN controller. So I'm gonna take this WLC here. Okay, suppose I'm taking the WLC, wireless LAN controller, and let me connect it to the switch. We have connected that to the switch. Okay, now what you're going to do is, say you're going to give the IP address to the to the WLC. Okay, to the WLC, let me configure an IP. Say suppose 10.00.100. Okay, 10.00.100, and the gateway is 10.0.0.1, which is the router's IP. Okay, so now let me try to access this wireless LAN controller. I told you, so you need to configure this access point. To configure the access point, you will access this wireless LAN controller. Through the wireless LAN controller or the WLAN controller, you will be configuring this AP. Shall we? Okay, so now to access this wireless LAN controller, let me tell you, we will take the HTTP access. We'll take the HTTP access. Okay, so we are going to go to a computer instead of connecting it to the console. So here you can see, instead of connecting it to the console, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to connect it through the computer. Okay, so I'll go to the computer and I'll take the command prompt, and then I'll ping. I'll check the connectivity. So ping 10.00.100. So it may take some time. Yes, now that you are getting the reply from the WLC, you have the connectivity. Now what you're going to do is, you're going to go to your web browser and you're going to type this http://10.00.100. Okay, so we are going to take the access of this. So we are not taking the console of the device, but we are taking the HTTP access or the web page in the, say, the WLC. Clear? So you can see it may take some time, but finally you will get it. Okay, so let me fast forward here. Okay, yes, you can see something, Cisco 3500 series WLAN or wireless LAN controller. Okay, so this is how you're going to take the access of the wireless LAN controller. Okay, now suppose, then you can see, welcome, please start by creating an admin account. This is the first time that we are taking the WLC. So to start, we will create an admin account. Okay, so let me just give some name here. Say suppose Tiger456. Okay, just some admin ID. So Tiger456 is the admin ID, and so let me note it down here. Okay, WLC credentials. So username is, or the admin name is, Tiger456, and the password, suppose the password is, say, Tiger@456. Okay, we'll give a complicated password. So while giving it these passwords and all, just give a complicated password. For explaining this, I'm just giving a smaller password. Okay, so now, yes, and also the password should be complicated, guys. Here it should have at least one, yes, uppercase, one lowercase symbol, and the number. So this is the password that I'm gonna give. Now it's okay. Now, yes, I have clicked start. Now it is asking to set up the controller. Okay, so now first of all it will ask us to enter the system name. System name here, it means the host name for this device. Okay, so suppose I'm just entering some random names here. Say suppose Zebra. Okay, Zebra controller or whatever it is. Okay, then the country, then the time, you can see the time zone, everything you can fill it. Okay, then say here the management IP, the IP address to be configured to this device, which is 10.0.0, say suppose 100, right? Okay, so I previously given 100, so let us give the same thing. So 10.0.0 100, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway is 10.0.0.1 here. Okay, 10.0.0.1. Now again we'll go down and we'll give next. Okay, so clicking next will ask us to create the wireless network. Will ask us to create a wireless. So I told you, say what happens is that we need to transmit the wireless signal through or from this access point, right? So when the access point is transmitting the signal, it needs to have a name, right? To identify, we needs to have a name, and that name is called SSID. What is it called? SSID. So you can see, so let me show it to you. So here you got, here in my example here, I mean with me I got multiple SSIDs here. So TP link 3C, C3, then second floor hall, second floor security 2, like that we got multiple SSID. Okay, so guys, again, if at all you are not able to hear me properly, let me know, because I am connected to some other access point. Okay, so here like this we got multiple SSIDs here. Okay, so now again, so what I'm gonna do is that I'll be creating a wireless network here. Okay, suppose I'm creating a wireless for, say, faculty. Okay, the faculty is
The CCNA.
CCNA. Okay, led for CCNA students, whatever. Okay, CCNA students. Okay, so now then the network name is CCNA students. That means we'll be, sorry, what you're gonna do is, here we're gonna again note it down. Let me note it down. So then what happens is that when we create this, the access point is gonna say, they're gonna transmit the signal with the name, the CCNA-students. Okay, so the SSID here, it is CCNA-students. Okay, and of course we need to give a password for this as well, the Wi-Fi, right? So the password, suppose, let me give a random one, say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, just a random password. Okay, now so the same thing here, we'll give the password. Now to give the password, we must say mention the security protocol. Okay, so whenever you send the data, it needs to be made secure, or it should be encrypted. It can be encrypted using multiple protocols, wireless security protocols. Okay, so we got multiple wireless security protocols, say wired equivalent protect, say wireless protected or Wi-Fi protected access, and Wi-Fi protected access 2, WPA3, etc. Okay, so we are gonna use, so WPA3 is the latest one, but here I think it supports only WPA2. Okay, so let me give WPA2 here, and WPA2 and 3 both has two modes, personal mode and enterprise mode. Okay, so here we are going to use the personal mode. That means we are just going to use a password. Okay, so now we'll click onto this WPA2 personal, where we'll give the password. So the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, again confirm the password, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so the CCNA students is the SSID, and the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, now the VLAN ID, let it be the management VLAN, and the DHCP server, it's optional. If you want, you can give it. Okay, suppose, so here in the packet tracer we do not have the options to give it. Here I cannot give it. Okay, so the packet tracer supports only limited things. Okay, now then we are gonna go to the next one. Yes, when we click next, yes, RF parameter optimization, let it be like that. Okay, then we'll click next, and then what happens is that now that they will ask us to confirm the settings and apply. So just check whatever you configured is right or not. So the username for this WLC is Tiger456. Now the system name, that means this WLC is named Zebra. Now again, so the country, the time zone, the NTP server, the management IP, everything you can just verify it. Okay, verify it, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna click apply. Okay, when you click apply, it will ask us to reboot you will click OK. So what happens is that the router will, the WLC will reboot. Okay, so after rebooting, let me tell you what happens. After rebooting, so this WLC will get connected to this access point. It will get connected to the access point. And what happens, let me tell you. So here by this time the access point might have got an IP address. Shall we check the IP address? Okay, so when you connect it to the say wired network, this access point definitely needs an IP address. So they will send the discover and all, so then they will receive back their offer, the request and acknowledgement, and thereby they will get an IP address. Okay, so to see the IP address, you can see, so it has been assigned with an IP 10.0.0.4. Can you see that? Okay, so I hope everyone saw it. Ratik? Okay, now so down you can see something, cap web status connected to 10.0.0.100. I told you this access point will get connected to the WLC, wireless LAN connected. Okay, so it will get connected to the access point, and then you can see providing the WLAN CCNA students. That means the Wi-Fi, so the AP has transmitted a Wi-Fi like this, named CCNA students. So if at all you have your phone, mobile phone, your laptop, you can then connect to this access point. Okay, suppose that you are having your mobile phone here. So let me just take the mobile phone. Where is it? Okay, smartphone. If you have a smartphone, then you will get it connected. So you will go to a smartphone and you know how to do it in the smartphone. I don't have to tell you. You will have that drop down button. You will just click or drag it down, and we'll click onto the Wi-Fi, and you will turn it on, and then we'll connect it. Right. So in the packet tracer, it's a different thing. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to a config tab. Then you're gonna click onto the wireless here. Then you're gonna give the SSID. Okay, SSID here is CCNA-students. Okay, then what you're gonna give is you're gonna give the authentication method. Authentication method is WPA2 PSK. Okay, WPA PSK is there, WPA is there. So WPA is Wi-Fi protected access, which is another, or the protocol just before this, WPA2. Okay, so WPA you can give it. Now another is WEP, wired access protect, and another is 802.1x. okay, so IEEE 802.1x. so again you got different methods to connect. Now that I'm giving WP2 PSK. Now what say we will do is that we'll give the key, or we'll give the password. What is the password? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, this is the password. So now when you give it, and after some time you will get connected. So you can see the smartphone has got wirelessly connected to this access point. Clear? Okay, in your home both these devices will be same, with the wireless access control and the wireless LAN controller and the access point, both will be say in a single device. Okay, and all even the switch and the router, everything together will be a single device. So in the home network or in the smaller network, what you do is that you will again access the device using the same method. Okay, what you're going to do is, if at all you want to change your password, or if at all you want to configure your access point, or if at all you want to configure your router, what you usually do is, so below the router you can see an IP address. Okay, most probably it's going to be 192.168.1.1, and there you will go to a web browser and you will say take the HTTP access, and then you will log in with the credentials. The default credentials also you can see, it might be admin password or admin like that. Okay, so if at all you are using the Netgear, or if at all you are using the Cisco's, you can type the default passwords, the admin username and password in the Google, and the default ones you will get it. Okay, but if at all it's customized, then you don't have any option. Okay, so this is how you will configure the access point. Now again, if at all you want to create a new access point, suppose for the CCNP students, okay, or CCNA faculty, or somebody else, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to again go to the computer. Again you're going to access the wireless LAN controller. Through the wireless LAN controller you will be accessing, or you will be configuring this access point. Okay, so now This time you will go to PC and you will again take the web browser, and when you take the web browser, this time be careful enough to take the HTTPS access. HTTPS. Okay, so now that we have already configured the WLC, now they will work with, or you will get it with HTTPS. Okay, then you're gonna type the address 10.0.0.100. Okay, then you can see this, the login page, wireless LAN controller, and they got a login. Okay, so here what you're gonna give is, see the credentials that we have configured first, right? So Tiger 456, and the password is TIGER at 456. Invalid username. Yeah, T is caps. Okay, so Tiger 456 and TIGER at the rate 456. Okay, so you can log into the WLC and you can see. So this is how you will see the WLC console. Okay, or the WLC, say the web page here. So here you can see it shows a picture of the WLC. Okay, and you can see many things over here. The management IP, which is 10.0.0.100, the software version, the system name, the uptime. So it's up for just 12 minutes. Okay, and say the system time, the redundancy mode, the internal temperature. You can see lot of things here. Okay, and you can read it. Okay, now if at all you want to configure, or if at all you want to create a new wireless, then wireless what do you say, SSID, then, or the wireless network, you can like click onto this WLAN, and then you can click onto this create new and click on to go. Okay, where they will ask to create a profile name, for suppose for CCNP students. Okay, so I'll be giving CCNP hyphen students. The same SSID also CCNP students. Okay, now again we will click apply here. Then a new wireless network will be created. So this says the name is CCNP students, and you're gonna check it. That means you're gonna enable it. Now if at all you want to set the password and everything, then you can go down again. Not here. Okay, in the security tab you can go and you can click on to whichever is your mechanism, you can click it. Now that we are going to go with WPA plus WPA security. Yes,
sir, under this layer 2 security, just drop down the menu. Yeah, 802.1x is for Dakas or this kind of authentication.
Yes, I suppose 802.1x, if at all yours is wired connectivity, then it will give you, it will ask for the password. If at all you are connected wired in a wired manner, then it will ask for the password. Okay, that's what I know.
That is for the server authentication, right?
Yes, AAA only.
User credential will be stored in Dakas AAA kind of thing, right?
Yes, of course. Previously you had this 802.1x, but now I think it has been moved to CCNP, I suppose. Okay, the configuration and everything. Okay, so, and no, it was not there. It was not there. The 802.1x was not there, and I suppose it is still in CCNP level. I think so. Okay, but to configure that 802.1x, definitely you need the AAA servers and all. Okay. Yes. So let me just tell you what it is. As I've told you, this 802.1x mechanism will ask for a username and password. Okay, I mean, if at all the password is not right, then you will not be able to connect it. Okay, that's another authentication method. Okay, so now that we are going with the authentication, WPA plus WPA2, say this one. Okay, this one, authentication. Now then you're gonna click either WPA2 or WPA personal, WPA2 policy. Then you're gonna click the enable here, the PSK, it will be enabled. Okay, then you will give the password. Suppose for CCNP students, I'm giving the password 987654321. Okay, so for CCNA I just given 123456789, and for this one I just given and the password. Okay, then you're gonna click, you're gonna go upward, and then you're gonna click apply. Okay, so when you click the apply here, again you will again click one more time apply. So again, changing the WLAN parameters while it is enabled will cause the WLAN. So it is disabled, no issue, because we are just going to create this one, the new one. Okay, so we'll click yes, and then you can see this, it's at the access point now provides two wireless, right? Two wireless network, which are the CCNA students and CCNP students. Okay, so if at all CCNP students want to connect, they can connect with the next another password CCN, or say they can connect it to another SSID. Clear? Suppose some one CCNP student has come, okay, and he want to connect it, then he will connect it to CCNP. Okay, you can click onto the wireless, and then you can give the SSID CCNP-students. And then there are WPA2PSK, and the password was 987654321. Okay, then they will get it connected to the CCNP students. It will take some time. Yes, it has got connected to CCNP students. Clear? Now still you can customize it. Okay, so these are the basic things. I don't think the packet tracer will support customization, because for different the wireless network will be giving different IPs. Right, now you can see now these smartphones might have got the same IP, which is of the network 10.0.0.0/24. So we can customize it, because say we can create different VLANs. We can create in the switch itself, we can create different VLANs, right? Say VLAN 10 for CCNA students, VLAN 20 for CCNP students. Then we can make it as a trunk, so that all these, say, the VLANs will pass through this interface. Okay, and then you can customize it like that. But I don't think the packet tracer will like support those things. When I tried, I was not able to get it. Okay, so but say in the real-time environment, you will do furthermore customization. Clear? Okay, now that these smartphones, or say the laptops or the devices, got connected to the wired network. How did they get connected to the wired network? Through the wireless. So we have created a wireless network and got it connected to the wired one. Clear? Okay. So now then the communication. So when the smartphone gets connected to the wireless network, what happens is that the smartphone might have received an IP from this DHCP. Okay, so let us check the IP of the smartphone. You can see it has got an IP 10.0.0.5. The wireless, you can see that, right? It has got an IP 10.0.0.5. So if at all they want to communicate to the internet, now they have got an IP, they can communicate to internet. Okay, similarly, say if at all they want to communicate to another wireless device, they can communicate. So that communication will be going like this. From the smartphone, access point, switch, wireless LAN controller, and from the wireless LAN controller it will be going to the smartphone. Clear? Okay. So this is the wireless one. Any doubt in this? Clear? Okay. Now we are gonna, so this is the wireless. Again, you got some theory portions, read it, say then ask me the doubts, I'll clarify your doubts then. Okay, now the next one. Next is, okay, we'll move to this one, and last I'll be taking this. Okay, copy commands, ROMMON mode, and password recovery. So copy commands. Copy commands. So you know the router has got different memory, right? So RAM is one memory unit, and NVRAM is another one, and flash is another, next one. Okay, so the RAM consists of the running configuration. The primary RAM consists of the running configuration. Whatever you configure is there in the running config. Now the NVRAM consists of startup configuration. So the running configuration can be saved as the startup configuration, and it will be present in the NVRAM. Now the flash memory, it consists of iOS, right? Now to save the running configuration, you know the command, right? You know the command to save the running configuration. The command is, you will go to the privilege mode and you will execute the command write. Okay, or you can use the copy commands also. So to save the config means to save from the RAM to the NVRAM. So you can use the copy commands like this: copy running-config space startup-config, from where you are copying to where you are copying. Clear? So this is how you save the config. Okay, now to retrieve back the config, to retrieve the saved config back, then to retrieve back the config, the command is, we'll go to the privilege mode and we'll give the command copy from where you're copying, startup config you're copying. The saved one is the startup config, then space running-config. Clear? Okay, so just give me I'll be just showing it to you, just using some examples. Suppose I've taken a router and consider that I want to configure it. So I'll configure, suppose just a few small configuration here. Okay, so now suppose that I am changing the host name to line. Okay, now again what I can do is I can write it or I can save it. I can either use the keyword write or I can use the command copy running-config space startup-config. So what happens is that when you enter, it'll ask whether to save it as the startup config or not. We will click enter. Okay, so it has been saved. Now even if you reload the router, to reload the router the command is reload. Even if you reload the router, the value still exists there. That means the host name will be a line. Clear? Okay, so this is how you save it. Okay, now again let it come. Okay, now suppose I've changed the name, say the host name, suppose I've changed it to say Tiger. Then if at all I want to, so I have not saved it, this Tiger config I have not saved it. If at all I want to say get back the previous configuration, the line and all, then I would use the copy command. Copy from where I need to copy, from the startup config, the saved config, to the running configuration. So I will give enter, so that means we will be saving it as the running configuration itself. When you give enter, you can see the old name and the old configs has come back. Clear? Now again, so you can save these config to another value or to another memory which is external, which is an external server, that is called TFTP server. What is it called? TFTP server, Trivial File Transfer Protocol. Okay, it's called Trivial File Transfer Protocol. Okay, TFTP server. So we can save the running configuration, startup configuration, and iOS. It can be saved to the TFTP server. Okay, run, start, and iOS. Everything can be saved to the running to the TFTP server. Let me tell you how. Okay, so suppose that we have a network here. We have a network, and we have different computers here. Okay, so just let me give an IP here for this device. Interface gig 0/0/0. I shouldn't have deleted the other one. So here IP address 10.0.0.1 Okay, and let me give no shut. Okay, now let me have some computers. Among these computers, you got a server also, which is called the TFTP server. Okay, so suppose that you got a TFTP server here, and the TFTP server has an IP address, suppose 10.0.0.200. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the IP address to a TFTP server 10.0.0.200. 255.255.255.0. okay, and the gateway address is suppose 10.0.0.1 and all. Okay, now so here we have a TFTP server. Now to save this configuration, the configuration and everything to a TFTP server, what I'm gonna do is I'll go to the privileged execution mode, and then we'll execute the command like this. If at all I want to save the running configuration to TFTP, then I'll save it or I'll give the command like this: copy. The same copy command is used. From where you need to copy? From the running config you need to copy. Okay, to where you need to copy? To TFTP you need to copy. Okay, then if at all you want to copy the startup config, copy startup-config TFTP. Now if at all you want to copy the next one, say the iOS. Okay, so you'll be executing command copy. From where you need to copy? From the say it's the iOS will be there in the flash memory. So from the flash memory you need to copy. Okay, from the flash memory you need to copy to the TFTP you will copy. Clear? So shall I show it to you? Okay, so now to say save it. Suppose I want to save the running configuration. So I'll be doing it like this: copy running-config space TFTP. Then it will ask us the address or the name of the remote host. That means it is asking which is the IP address of the TFTP server. Then we'll give the IP address of the TFTP as 10.0.0.200. Then the destination file name. If you want to change the destination file name, you can change it. Okay, suppose if at all I want to save it like this: line running configuration, say today's date 2 June 2022. Okay, so I will save it like this, and this file can be viewed in the TFTP server. Clear? In the TFTP server, either you can create a folder in a drive and you can make it, or you will just copy it to that location. Okay, so here what happens is that when you, if at all it's in the packet tracer, to see it you will go to the services and then you will click on to this TFTP and you can see the file line run 2 June 2022. Clear? Now if at all I want to save the startup config, again I'll go to this one, then we'll execute the command copy. From where I need to copy? From the startup I need to copy to the TFTP. So again it'll ask for the IP address, which is 10.0.0.200 is the IP address of the, say, the server, TFTP server. And again, if at all you want to change the file name, you can change it. Again, let me change it: lion startup, then 2 June 2022. Okay, then when you again take this server, you can see, okay, it'll take, yes, now you can see the startup configuration has been saved. So you can, yeah, so you can open it in Notepad, or you can open it in WordPad, or you can open it in the MS Word. Then you can edit it and you can just copy it back. Clear? Okay, now if at all you want to save the iOS file, okay, to save the iOS file, again first command is that you will execute the command show flash. Here you can see this is the iOS file. You will copy the iOS file here, the file name you will copy, and then you will give the command copy from the flash to the TFTP. Then here you have to paste this source file name. So for this I have copied it, I'll be pasting it. Okay, so this is the source file name that needs to be copied to the TFTP. Okay, now just give me a moment. We'll not be changing this iOS file name because it consists of the version, it consists of which device it is and all. Will not be changing, but for just an example I'm changing it. Okay, suppose I'm just changing it to 17.0.0.0. okay, then it will ask for address of the remote host, which is 10.0.0, say 200 is the address of the TFTP. So what happens is that the destination, yes, okay, the destination file name, it will ask, we will save it like that itself. Now actually the source file name, we should not change it. That's the error. Writing this file and opening the flash, they didn't get this. So the flash consists of 16.6.4 iOS. Okay, so I've just made a mistake here. So copy, say flash to TFTP. The source file name is this one. This needs to be copied to 10.0.0.200. Okay, and the destination file name, I'm going to change it to some other name. So we will not be changing it, just for showing you that it can be changed. I'm changing it. Okay, in the production and all, you will not change it. Okay, now you can see writing this one. So this will be copied to the TFTP server. Clear, guys? Okay, it'll take some time, and then after copying we can check the server and you can see this file here. Okay, now that again, so this is how you will copy all the things. Now if at all you want to retrieve back all these things from the TFTP, what will you do? The commands will be just the reverse, right? The commands will be, say, copy TFTP space running hyphen, sorry, just give me a moment. The commands will be copy TFTP space running hyphen config, copy TFTP space startup hyphen config, copy TFTP space flash. From where you're copying? From the TFTP you're copying. To where you're copying? To the running config or the startup config or the flash memory. Clear? So this is how you will retrieve. So this is how you will take the backup. The previous one is how you will take the backup, and this is how you will retrieve the backup. Retrieving the backup from the TFTP. Clear? You can note this one also. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, nowadays most of the router is having also the USB ports.
Yes.
The commands are same.
Sorry?
The commands are same if I want to copy something to the USB drive.
Through the USB drive, if you want to copy, so it's the console actually. Okay, if at all you want to copy it, you will mention it, say copy, then you will check which one it is. Okay, then I really don't remember the command.
USB 0 or USB 1. There is the two options.
It's not USB 0, USB 1, I don't remember that. Okay, even I tried copying, that was successful, but yeah, of course you can check it. Okay, so it might be USB 0 or USB 1, or I don't really exactly, just give me a
No,
minute.
this is the option only.
USB 0.
USB 0 and USB 1.
Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Let me.
There is only two USB ports available in router, Cisco router. USB 0 either or USB 1.
Okay.
What I'm asking is, sir, command is same now, right?
Yeah, command is same.
Actually, yesterday I faced one problem actually, and the router image is corrupted.
Okay.
So we are not able to, boot that image. So we have downloaded the image from the Cisco site, and through USB we have tried to boot that image into the router. It is ISR 4331, but unfortunately that also not supported. Now the hardware issue is there, so we are replacing the.
Yeah, you're going for the RMA, right?
Yeah, new router we are replacing.
USB flash. Okay, that was something else. So what I did was, we can try to install that directly from US. So copy USB, that is okay, fine. Okay, or you can mention something like this, USB flash or something. Okay, that is boot commands. Okay, bootload commands. Okay, that is different. I was checking that, but yeah, you're right. Flash 0, so it can be the USB flash also, USB flash 0 or USB flash 1 or something. Okay, So this is how you will copy it. Okay, now regarding the USB copying, we are not studying that. Okay, but if at all you want to test it, you can test it in the real device. Okay, now so here we will now study the upgradation of the router. Okay, the upgradation of the router upgradation. The router upgradation. Okay, so now either you can upgrade it, say directly, or say what you can do is that you have the flash memory. You have the flash memory, and in the flash memory you can have this iOS. If you have this iOS, suppose the older iOS 16.6.4 iOS, suppose this is the older iOS. Can you see at the back now, right? See, okay. If you can see it, then okay, fine. So if you have, say, the older iOS, you can delete the older iOS, and then you can insert, you can copy it. Okay, so you can copy it from the TFTP to the flash. Okay, so to delete the older iOS, so the command is, you will go to the router. You will go to the router here and you will mention delete flash. Okay, so if you delete the flash, then say you can say delete it like this. You will give the file name. You will delete it. Okay, then if you check the show flash here, show flash, then you do not have the iOS in the flash memory. Okay, then what you're gonna do is you can copy from the TFTP. Right, say you can copy from the TFTP to the flash. You can copy it. Then it will ask us for the IP 10.0.0.100. Then it will ask us for the source file, which is 17. We have just copied. I just renamed it as 17.0.0 or something. Okay, then you can enter. It will access the file, and it will get copied. Clear? Okay, so either you can do it like this, or if at all you have the sufficient memory, you can retain this older iOS. You can retain this older iOS. After retaining the older iOS, you can copy it. I mean, retaining means let it be there itself. Say then you will copy it, iOS 17.0.0, you will copy it, and then later after copying you will delete it. Clear? So this is how you will do it. And again, to load this iOS, you will reload the router. You will reload the router. Okay, so here then we will reload the router. Okay, some error is there. Okay, so now yeah, it was 10.0.0.200, I suppose, right? The IP address of the TFTP was 10.0.0.200. And this is the file name, I suppose. So you can copy it. Clear? Now you can do one more method. Suppose what if the iOS is, say, suppose even, so somebody told, the online student, somebody told that even the iOS may fail or it will get corrupted. It will get corrupted. So only if you have only one iOS, then it will go corrupted. What if it goes corrupted? If it goes corrupted, you have multiple ways. Okay, one way is that you can get it, say if at all they are not able to load the iOS, then I have taught you that they will have something which is called mini iOS in the ROM. Okay, from the ROM you can load the mini iOS, and from the mini iOS you can say get the iOS, the real iOS, from the TFTP. That is one method. Or from one router means, suppose this router the iOS has failed, and another router they got the same model and they got the iOS there. Then say this, the second router, R2 router, can act as a TFTP server, and from this router, that means from this TFTP server, you can copy it to the R1. Clear? Or so as here he was doing, say you can copy it through the, say, the console as well. That means the USB as well. Clear? Okay, so now I'll be teaching you the first one now. Okay, so how you can, if at all your iOS goes corrupt, then how to go to the mini iOS and say how you can how you can load the iOS from the say TFTP. Okay, so for that, suppose, okay, just it's not yet complete, guys, let it complete. Okay. Suppose that we have a router. Okay, I think it may take some time, some more time. Okay, anyone singing? Hey, ഇവിടെ എന്തിനാ ഇരിക്കണേ? ഇവിടെ എന്തിനാ ഇരിക്കണേ? Not? Okay. Now, so here, suppose, okay. Now, yeah, it has been copied, guys. So, suppose that the iOS got corrupt. The iOS got corrupted. Okay, suppose show flash. So let me delete it. Delete flash. Okay, and this is the file name. So show flash, you do not have any say the file here, or suppose it is corrupted. So now when you reload it, just give me a moment, right? Okay, so suppose show flash, when you reload it, okay, so you can see you do not have an iOS here. The iOS was, say the router was not able to find the iOS, or suppose the iOS is corrupt. Then I told you the router will load the mini iOS, and that is called ROMMON mode. So now that you are in the ROMMON mode, if at all you are in the ROMMON mode, let me tell you how you can get the say the iOS from the flash, I mean the TFTP. Clear? So to get the iOS from the TFTP, you're gonna go to the ROMMON mode and say you're gonna execute the exact commands like this. So it should be case sensitive, and it is case sensitive here. Okay, make sure that you are typing the correct commands here. Okay, so the commands are like this: IP_address equal to, so what you're gonna do is, so here now the router is no more in the working state. Now only the mini iOS is loaded. The mini iOS is loaded. So what you're going to do is you're going to give an IP to the first interface of the router. That means it can be either fastnet 0/0 or it can be gig 0/0/0, the first interface of the router. And we are going to temporarily give this one an IP address. That's it. Temporarily give him an IP address, and we'll try to get the iOS from the TFTP. Okay, so now, so here we'll assign the first interface with an IP, suppose 10.0.0.1. Then we'll give the subnet mask like this: IP_subnet_mask equal to, say, then the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Then you can give the default gateway. If at all you need the default gateway, you can give it. Okay, default-gateway. Then you will give, if at all the TFTP server is in a different subnet, right, you can give the default gateway. Okay, then you can give the TFTP IP. So it will contact the TFTP IP. Whoever is the TFTP, it will try to contact the TFTP. So which is 10.0.0.200. Then TFTP _file. From the TFTP, he has to retrieve one file, one iOS file. Which is that iOS file? Say suppose this is that iOS file. Clear? Now at last we will give the command TFTP DNLD. Okay, again it has got, so if at all say the commands are right, then of course, okay, so the commands are right, then it has to work. But here we have a small mistake here. It is not the TFTP IP, the command is TFTP_server was the command. So what I'm going to do, I'll again do this thing. Okay, so the IP address is 10.0.0.1 and the IP subnet is 255.255.255.0. So here the tab and nothing will work. So here you will have to give the exact commands by yourself. Okay, so here we'll have to make a small change. The command was TFTP_server. then we'll give the TFTP file, then we'll give the command tftp dnld. Okay, now as the commands are right, yes, it will ask us to continue or not. So here you can see warning, all that existing data and all the partitions on the flash will be lost, continue, yes or no. So if you give yes, then what happens is that it will make this interface up, gig 0/0/0, it will make this interface up and will try to reach the server, and from the server it will try to get that TFTP, the iOS file. Clear? So before doing that, let me just configure this with the port fast also, so that the interface will come up immediately, or else the switch interface, it has got some timers, it will take some time to come up. Okay, so interface phase 0/1 switch or spanning FN3 port fast. Okay, yes, now that we'll confirm it. So it will, yes, you can see receiving the iOS from the 10.0.0.200. Clear, guys? So this is how, this is one method to do the upgradation. Clear? Okay. Any doubts in this one? Okay. I suppose you are fine. The later things, the later portions of the upgradation and those things, you will study it in the CCNP level. Okay. Now it will take some time. Okay.
This iOS is right now coming from the TFTP server to the switch, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we are just copying it, the iOS file from the TFTP server to switch itself, right?
To the server. To the router.
Acha, okay. So you are transferring the iOS to the router.
Yes.
Okay. So once it is copied, it will be copied in the flash, right?
Yes, once it is copied completely, then it will be there in the flash. Then you can reload the router.
So we have to change the give some extra commands.
Not really. So if it's the boot commands that you are referring, then you really don't need to give the boot commands, the boot system commands, because say the boot system commands will be by default, it will be taking from the flash itself. Okay.
No, I got your point. What I am saying is, suppose this router is already having some iOS already copied in the flash, right? By default. So if I am copying any advanced version of the iOS from my TFTP server to the router 1 flash, so there will be 2 iOSs, right?
Yes.
So by default, the previous older one will boot.
That you can change it from the boot system itself. From the boot system itself,
we need to give some extra command to change the iOS, right?
You need to mention that.
Okay. So can we do that, or it will be?
I don't think that this the boot system commands will work in the packet tracer.
Okay, sir. No issue.
I have not tried it, but don't think it will work. Okay. Let it come. We'll check. Just give me a minute, guys. The packet tracer got stuck. It'll take some time because it is already copying, right? So it'll take some time.
Not responding.
Sorry?
It's not responding actually.
Yeah. Unfortunately it got closed. Did I click on to close? No, right? Okay. Anyway, that after copying it will get copied. Okay. And then we will give the reset. Okay. Once we are in the ROMMON mode, once we have copied the iOS into the flash memory, then we will reset it. Okay, we will give the command reset. Okay, so that the router will reload and the router will load with the newer iOS. Okay, yes. So here if I take this one and to the I suppose you don't have any doubts, right? Even if we are not able to do it, I mean, even if I was not able to show you guys, it's fine for you, right? Or do you want to show me? I mean, do I need to show it to you again one more time? Fine, everyone. Okay, so here, no, yeah, boot system is there, flash. Okay, so here you can, they are mentioning to give the file name here. Okay, so boot system flash, then the file name they have mentioned it. Okay, so or else you can change the configuration register value accordingly, whichever you want, you can change the configuration register value accordingly. Okay, so this is how you will change it. I suppose you have understood, right? So whoever has asked the question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now shall we go with the next portion? Fine. Okay, so we'll now go with the one more portion here, that is called the password recovery. Password recovery. Okay, so you can write the password recovery, or do you need a break? Break. Okay, we'll go with a break and then we'll come back and then we'll study the password recovery. So the only portion that remains is the password recovery. Okay, then we got GRP, proxy ARP, and ICMP, which is a small portion. I suppose you remember ARP, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
So if at all you do not remember, revise it. Then say, then only we'll be able to study the GRP and the proxy ARP. Okay. Yes. So I'll be giving you a break till 9:17 a.m. Okay. So now guys, I suppose we can start, but I forgot one thing. Just give me a minute. Okay. So just I've taken the console of the device, guys, console of the router. Okay. Suppose that I'm taking the console. No worries. I'll make you do tomorrow. Okay. So yeah.
Background noise is coming.
Sorry.
Background noise is coming.
Yeah, the noise is because of the router. Okay, I've turned on the router so to teach the password recovery, and I hope my voice is loud and clear, right? Or do you want me to like?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Go on.
Okay. Yeah. So now, guys. So now, consider that you have configured an enable secret password or the enable password. Okay, and you have saved it. You have saved the enable password or the enable secret password, but you forgot it. You have logged out of the router, but you forgot it. What to do? That's what you will study in the password recovery. Okay, so in the password recovery, what we are going to do is, okay, so let me just take the putty. So now that I've taken the console access, okay, let me just take the putty and configure a password. Sorry? VJ is it's there, right? Blood. Okay. Now fine? No? Okay. So now guys, yes, let me tell you. So here what we are going to do is the password recovery. So to do the password recovery, the physical access for the router is a must. Okay, the physical access in the sense we should be able to take the console access. Okay, and we should be nearby the router. So that's a must for the password recovery. Okay, so first let me take the putty and we'll take it. Say I suppose that I'll be like what is it, device management. Okay, and I suppose you know the COM port is this one here. Let me just take it. So this is the COM 7. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it connected to the COM 7. Okay, so I'm gonna get it connected to COM 7. This one I've taught you, right? Okay, what to do and all I've taught you. So we'll click open to get the console. Okay, yes. Now suppose the password is Cisco, I don't know what the password. So now let me configure the password here, the enable secret. Suppose enable secret.
Sir,
yes,
before configuring, can you just show us the startup config?
sure. The startup config might be, some students might have done it, say, and that doesn't matter at all.
So is there any password already there or not?
Cisco 321 is there, and enable Cisco, enable secret is Cisco 123 or something, and enable password is Cisco 321.
No
Okay.
AAA is configured.
Sorry,
No AAA is configured.
what is configured? Yeah, both password is configured. Both
privilege
password is
not
configured, and the enable secret password has more privilege, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now that let me change it. I know the password, so that's how logged in. Okay. Now let me change the password. Enable secret. Okay. Enable secret. Some random passwords I'm typing. Some random password I've typed it. So now let me exit. So first let me save it. Right. You will either give the command write, or you will give the command copy running -config space startup -config. Now if I exit. Now that I'm trying to get into the router, do I know the password? No, I just typed randomly. Okay, I'm not able to enter into the router. In that case, we'll use this password recovery method. And I told you to use the password recovery, or to do this, you need the physical access, or you need to be nearby the router. So what you will do is that you know the router here has got a power cable, sorry, the power button. Okay, so here you might have seen the power button here. So this is the power button. So you will turn off the power button for now. I've just turned off the power button. And what I'll do is that I'll turn on the power button now. My intention is to restart the router. Okay, but I cannot give reload or restart or anything, because say I'm not inside the router. I'm not able to go inside the privilege mode. Right, so I'm not able to give the reload or reset command. So now I will again turn it back on. When you turn it back on, my intention is to say like break the booting. If I do not break the booting, the iOS and the configuration will be loaded. Both the iOS and the configuration will be loaded, and it will be asking for the password again. Clear? So now my intention is to break the booting, and to break the booting, either I'll be pressing the control or the say control and pause break button. Okay, control plus pause break button. Or what I'm going to do is that for some routers this won't work, and for those routers, say what I'm going to do is say I'll remove the flash card. So if I remove the flash card, then they do not have the iOS. Then both cases it will be moved into the ROMMON mode. If I break the booting, or if at all I remove the flash card, then I'll go into the ROMMON mode. And once I'm in the ROMMON mode, I will change the configuration register value. I'll change the configuration register value to 0x2142. And what is the specialty of this configuration register value? If you set this as the configuration register value, no configurations will be loaded. That means whatever the password, whatever the host name, whatever the configurations that we have done is there in the startup config, and the startup config will not be loaded. Without loading startup config, the router will load the iOS only. It will load as a new router. Clear? Shall we do it? So what I'm gonna do now is, say I'm gonna remove the flash card now. I remove the flash card. Okay, then now let me turn it on. So if I turn it on, I told you I'll be breaking the booting, right? So let us see. Yes, you can see the compact flash is not present. I've just removed the flash card. And what happened was I moved into the ROMMON mode, the mini iOS, where I'll be changing the configuration register value. The command is confreg 0x2142. Confreg 0x2142. Then again, what happens, say you must reset or power cycle for the new config to take place. That means for the new configuration to take place, you need to power cycle, or you need to turn it off and turn it back on, or you need to give the command reset. Okay, and before giving the reset, make sure that you insert the flash card, because now when you give the reset, the iOS needed to be loaded and the configuration will be skipped. Okay, so I have inserted it. Okay, I've inserted it, and what I'll do is that I'll give the command reset. Okay, and this time the router will load without any configuration, without any password it will load. Clear? Now again, it will take some time for loading. Okay, in the meanwhile I'll just explain what happens or what needs to be done. So now what? Change it. Oh, it's gone. So you will change the configuration register value also. The command is, we'll go to the config mode, we'll mention the command config-register, and the default password is 0x2102. Clear? Then what we will do is that again we will write it, or we will save all these config. We have just created a new password, we have changed the configuration register value back to 0x2102. Then we will write it, or we will give the command do write. Clear? Okay, so now let me show it to you. Now here what happens, yeah, the router has not loaded yet. I hope it will load now. Yes. So now it behaves as if it's a new router. It's asking whether to enter into the initial config dialog, yes or no. No. Okay, then without the configuration it will get loaded. So the previously you would have seen the router name was Delhi. The router name was Delhi. Now the router name, nothing will be there. The default name, the router. You can see the default name is router because no configurations has been loaded. And then you will give the command enable, you are able to enter into the router, right? And then you will say copy all the contents back. Copy from the startup config to the running config, you are copying it back. Then you can see all the configurations has been then returned, or everything has been now say copied to the running config. Now this is where I told you do not exit. If you exit, you do not know the password, you will have to restart the router again. Okay, now that you will go to the config mode, then we will mention the new password, enable secret suppose Cisco. Okay, so then this time make sure that you note down this password. Okay, and then you will change the configuration register value 0x2102. Okay, then you will copy it or you will write it. The command is either you can give the command write or you can give the command copy running-config space startup-config. You are saving it. So this is how, now that you exit and now that if you enter, you know the command. What is the command? Cisco is the command. CISCO. This is the command. Clear? So this is how you will do the password recovery. Any doubt in this? Okay. Yes.
Sir, no question.
Okay.
Only one small doubt.
Yes, please.
So we have just recovered the password. Okay. So most of the time, console is also having the password.
The console is also, if at all the console is also having the password, yeah, the console password will also be, if at all you change it to the 0x2142, then all the configs including the console password also will be gone.
Okay, you meant to say if I forgot the console password, then also I do this same thing.
Yes, but
and after entering, we have to create enable secret password as well as line console 0, then again set a new password, right?
Yeah, enable secret password, if you already know it, then no need to change it. Okay, if at all your console password is gone, then of course let me tell you the real scenario. Say if your console password is lost, then somebody else who has got the authority can log into the router. So I suppose that we will be working in a team, right? So we will not be alone in that company organization. So if at all we have a colleague or someone who has more privilege in the router, then he can change your password in the router. Okay, instead of doing the password recovery. That's what in the production we will do. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, because this method involves restarting of the router and all. So this method, doing it in the real time, it is say will do it rarely because this involves downtime, right? Say the router will be turned off for some time. If at all the neighborship, the OSPF neighborship or some configurations are there, then you will not be say turning it off. Instead, we will be searching for some alternate method, and this will be the last method to try out because this has got the downtime. This you will be restarting the router. Clear? Okay. I hope you have understood. Okay. Yes. Now, guys, now the last topic, say GRP, proxy ARP, and all. Okay. So first, let me tell you. Let me take the PowerPoint. So guys, I've already uploaded the PowerPoint, those things and all in your Google Drive. You can check it. Okay. So now let me just take it. Yes. So you know about the ARP, address resolution protocol, right? Why ARP is used? ARP is used to find out the MAC address, the layer 2 address, using the IP address. Okay. Now, so here, suppose you got some machines. So this is the switch, and these are certain machines. Machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, and machine 4. Okay. So the first machine, if at all they want to send something to the fourth machine, and if they do not know the MAC address of the fourth machine, that is when they send the ARP request. The ARP request will be forwarded to everyone, it will be flooded, and the concerned machine, the machine 4 only will reply back to that ARP request. So he will generate an ARP reply. This is the process. Right. Now, first I'll be teaching you GARP or ready to SARP. So ready to SARP, let me tell you about it. Say it is an ARP reply. It is an ARP reply. And this ARP reply is not generated because of the ARP request. This ARP reply is generated without an ARP request. Clear? It is generated without an ARP request. So to notify all the other computers that a new machine, the fourth machine, has added, or that fourth machine has updated its IP to MAC binding and all. So ready to SARP is an ARP response that was not prompted by an ARP request. So it is sent as a broadcast as a way for the node to announce or update its IP to MAC binding. That means whenever a computer is, suppose it is set, or okay, if at all its IP is changed or something, then he wants that, or he want everyone to know about that. For that, he will be sending out an ARP reply. He will be sending out with his own MAC address and his own IP address. Clear? The updated IP. So that all the computers will come to know, say this MAC has got this IP. Clear? So that is what the ready to SARP is. Clear? Okay. Now, so when they send the ready to SARP, so here you can see here the sender IP and the target IP will both be same. The sender IP is the new IP. So he's having the IP, he is having the IP 10.003, and it is intended to send it to everyone. Okay, so at the layer 2 you can see the broadcast. At the layer 2 you can see the broadcast, and at the, say, the ARP header, the target IP will be the same IP as the machine's IP. Clear? So this is the ready to SARP. Simple. Let me tell you with an example. So here, suppose we got Satish here. Satish. Now we got Naresh. Okay, I know your names, but the problem is that I'll forget. Okay, so, and Ritik. Okay, and we got Kevin. Okay, so suppose, say Naresh wants to know about Kevin. So normal thing is that Naresh will say broadcast who is Kevin, and Kevin will reply I am Kevin. That's the usual ARP. Now Kevin, now suppose that Kevin came to the class. Suppose Kevin was sleeping. Okay, and immediately he woke up. So I was teaching something, and immediately he woke up and he was like, say, he was broadcasting to everyone, hi everyone, I am Kevin. Okay, so without saying Naresh, previously Naresh asked, okay, who is Kevin? Then he replied. So but this time Kevin itself is replying, hey guys, I am Kevin. Okay, so he is replying to everyone. Got it? So this is similar to the ready to SARP. So suppose, say, let us replace everyone with a computer. Okay, so this computer is having the MAC 4, and the IP is IP 4. Now previously the IP was IP 4, now the IP is changed to IP 3. Then what this computer will do? This computer will send an ARP reply. He'll send an ARP reply. So in the layer 3 it's a broadcast. Sorry, layer 2 it's a broadcast. Okay, it doesn't have layer 3, it only has layer 2. So in the layer 2 it's a broadcast. So that means it is sent to everyone. The broadcast means the ARP message will be like this. It consists of ARP header and it consists of layer 2 header. Getting it? So in the layer 2 header, the destination MAC will be the broadcast MAC. And what will be the MAC address? ffff.ffff.fffff. Clear?
How the IP changed from 4 to 3?
I have changed it manually, suppose. Okay, that may be because I have changed it manually. That doesn't matter here. Okay, so only say previously, say this computer might have saved it like this in the ARP cache. Say MAC 4 is having IP 4. Now it has to change, right? So MAC 4 is not having IP 4, but MAC 4's IP has been changed to IP 3.
Yeah.
To update that, they will send the ARP reply. Got it?
Since Mac 4 has changed its IP, it want to tell everyone
That it's changed. Okay, and that is called graded as ARP. Okay, clear?
Yeah, got it.
Now proxy ARP. Okay, so to discuss about the proxy ARP, again let me tell you an example. I hope at the back also you can see, right? Okay. Now, Satish, board is here, not there. Okay. I need to take my specs, guys. Let me take it. No. You are looking there only, right? Not here. There. Then it's my eyes problem. Okay, I think. Okay, now I can see you. Okay. Now, so here, suppose that, again, another example. Okay, we got Satish here. Satish. We got Naresh. We got Kevin. Okay. Kevin. We got Ritik. Okay. So these are the persons. Now, so Naresh, Satish and Kevin. All these people are sitting in CCNA class. All these people are sitting in CCNA class. And Ritik and Kevin is sitting in both CCNA classroom and CCNP classroom. Okay. Now Ritik is sitting in CCNP classroom. Okay. Suppose Naresh has got a book from the CCNA classroom. He has got a book from the CCNA classroom. It says Ritik. Okay. So Naresh wants to give book to Ritik. So what he will do? He will send a broadcast, or he will send to everyone. He doesn't know who is Ritik. So he will send it like this. He will tell to everyone. He will ask everyone, hey, who is Ritik? I have his notebook.
Yes,
We have discussed it.
already discussed the same example.
Same thing. Yeah, the same example. I used to go with the same example only. Yeah, the proxy.
I will reply for
Yes. Then very good. Then who will tell this?
I will tell this.
Who will tell this? What is the proxy ARP?
Proxy app,
Yes.
I will reply for
Yeah, you will reply. Okay. So what is really proxy ARP? So apart from this example, what is this proxy ARP?
proxy app. It's like apart from that computer is replying, the router will reply.
Okay. This is just an example, guys. Okay. This is just an example. Yeah. It's something. Someone is in the middle, and that guy will be replying for another computer.
Since
That
it know its MAC address in its table, catch table, so that it will reply.
Yes. That I didn't get it. Since it knows it's
This computer's
C1,
no C3's
C3.
C3 is IP as a MAC address. It will reply. A router
No.
will reply.
Okay, the router will reply not with the C3's MAC address, but its own MAC address. The IP will be C3's IP. Okay, but R7 will be replying with C3's IP and its own MAC address.
Okay, so
That is the proxy.
but it will forward the
Yeah, it will forward. After getting the message, it will forward. Got it? Okay. No worries.
ICMP packet to C3.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, proxy ARP, we understood the gateway replace its MAC address to the corresponding MAC address, right?
Yeah, that means
But
if
IP will be the same. IP will be the same.
yeah,
Destination IP will be the same.
Yeah, the
But what
IP
router will
scheme,
do,
I will say,
it will replace.
sorry,
Yes, sir.
can you repeat that again? Your voice was breaking.
No. Yeah, what I am saying is when the router is getting this kind of packet for any destination IP, router replace the MAC address with its own MAC address for the destination.
Yes, when it gets an ARP
So
request.
the sender system, so the sender system received one MAC address for the destination, and then it will send the packet again.
Yes. So
Actual data.
the sender will think that C3 is the router 7, or the whoever he wants to send the packet, that is this guy, and then we'll send the packet to him. But
Yeah.
really, this is not the real guy. The other guy, the C3, is the real guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
And during the packet transformation to the destination, router 7 will again change the packet while sending the packet to the C3.
No, the packet will not get changed, but the layer 2 information will get.
It will change the MAC address again, right?
Yes, the MAC address will get changed.
Yeah. I'm talking about that.
Yes.
Layer 2 information again,
Yes, that
get changed, right? While the delivery is happening in R7, right? For C1 to C3 communication.
Yes.
And one more thing that I need to ask in this regard. So whenever IP packets or the data packets are transferred from source to destination, so every time under any hop or any router, when it crosses by, so the layer 2 information is always changing, right?
Yes, of course it is changing. So I told you that, right? Say the router will be processing, so the same thing. Say what happens is that this computer will be processing the information from layer 7 to layer 1, and it will be sent to the switch, and the switch will get it through layer 1, will process it in layer 2, will not change anything in layer 2, and then again will send it via L1. And the router, what happens is that it receives it via L1, pass it to L2. If it is accepted, then we'll remove it, will pass it to L3. That means whenever he process the packet, this header, the layer 2 header and the layer 2 trailer will be removed, and the new layer 2 header and trailer will be added by the router. Got it?
If there is a multiple routers, I mean 3 routers in between source to destination, then 3 times it will change.
Yes, of course.
Am I correct, sir?
Yes, of course. Each router will change the layer 2 header, and then again will add another layer 2 header to it. Okay. Yes. I suppose you have got it, right?
It is true for the LAN as well as the internet or WAN, right, sir?
Yes. Okay.
Same thing is applicable.
Yeah, because it processes it in layer 3. Okay, so the layer 2, of course, let me tell you. Okay, so only if you if at all the router wants to check the layer 3, the layer 2 needs to be processed, then only it can go to layer 3. Right, so only if you strip off the layer 2 header and the layer 2 trailer, it can be passed to the network layer as a packet. Right, so it needs to be stripped off and added. Whether it's a WAN or whether it's a LAN, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And got any doubts, guys? So these are the topics that we needed to study, and we have completed it. Okay, so got any doubts from you guys? Okay, anyone offline? Say we got Kevin. Fine, right? Okay, Ritik. Okay, Ritik has been sleeping for last some days. Is it?
No.
Sure. Okay, we hid behind Kevin today. Okay, and Naresh. Fine. Satish. And online students, we got Srikanta, Alok, Lekshit, Srikant, Vijesh.
Yes. Sir, one more thing, can I ask you? Is there any websites or links so that we can go through deep kind of thing regarding this router passwords and recoveries and how things work?
Let me stop recording, guys. I forgot to
Is there
stop.
any